What is up, and welcome to Garage Inc. right here on the Asylum Radio Network. I am the new metal messiah, Diego. I hope everybody's doing really good. Just got off the radio side. Now I'm bouncing in here. I was going to get coffee. Totally forgot about it. So somehow I have 2 bottles of water sitting over here. It's fine. We're hydrated either way. Something we were supposed to do today. Oh, yeah. Over here to my right or left, technology, it always gets me. He's a model. He has his own clothing line. He's also an owner of restaurants, which is almost higher than the music on my end, bro. He's an actor, and oh yeah, he also does a little bit of singing. It's Ryan Shook from ADEMA. What is going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm fantastic, man. Really excited to be here. Thank you.
Man, honored to have you. I appreciate it. I just ramble on until it makes sense, where I'm just like, I should shut up now. I should definitely let them talk.
Me too.
So we'll get into the other stuff a little bit later, but right now, in the now, ADEMA, man. ADEMA, you guys are doing it. You guys are touring. I just realized, and I knew this because I had it wrote down in my little notebook that I have a million of just laying around. I come back to it. So you guys are about ready to jump on the tour September 1st in Colorado Springs, Colorado. But your next stop is basically in the backyard. Like, I can pull these drapes over in the studio, and we're looking at Clarksville. You're gonna be at the warehouse in Clarksville, right? Yeah. So it's like, okay, this is gonna be badass.
Yeah,
so you guys
we'll come elbow bump,
bro. Yeah, right there. Totally. It's it's made it a thing. I've always been a fist bump kid. I'm not really a big hand. Yeah, so it's kind of like right in my wheelhouse, a little fist bump action.
It's hard for me because I'm a fucking hugger. Like, I'll just come in and just fuck your space up.
Yep.
And I do jujitsu, so it's like I we get all fucking mean and nasty and close for just for fun. But we have to be really, really careful now because whether you're afraid of getting sick or not isn't really relevant. If you do get sick, if we get sick, the tour's over. So we just have to be really, really careful, and I have to be very disciplined with not doing my normal, do a handshake and then I pull people in and give them a hug, and it's going to be tough. I'm going to have to do a lot of this and be disciplined about having a mask on, and just to make sure that we make it through the tour without derailing the whole thing. Like what happened with one of my best friends, Jonathan Davis, was just down hard, derailed the entire Corn tour. Didn't Corey just get it as well?
Corey has it as well, and I think there's also a third person that has. So yeah, Jonathan was the first, Corey was the second. And it's not that I don't know, it's not that everybody else in the world wasn't getting it, but when, especially in our world of music and everything else, when 2 gigantic names get it, it's one of those, okay, all right, let's take a step back, like you say.
For us, it's not only are those guys my friends, but especially Jonathan. I mean, my first, Dave DeRue and I from ADEMA, our first band was with Jonathan. That's where Blind was written. You know what I mean? So it's like we go so far, back so far, so deep. That definitely hit me. But the reality of it is I do the same thing for a living. I go out there and I don't have $15 million of insurance for our tour. You know what I mean? Like if our tour gets derailed because one person has to spend 2 weeks in a hotel room, it's derailed. It's done. Right. And the band, it'd be tough to recover. And right now we have what looks like a hit song, and so we have to be pretty careful. The new song is absolutely destroying. And I'm super happy about it. And it's like we kind of need to go out there, and even though I'm not super sure how the shows will do, because it is weird right now. It is weird. Some shows are doing well, some aren't. It's a very mixed bag. We still do have to go out there and like cement this single and promote the single and work it and do the things you got to do to support a success. The last thing I want to do is lack discipline and fuck it up. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I feel you there. And speaking of the single, the brand new single spinning right here on the Asylum, Ready to Die. It is a banger. The video, bro, like, I don't know. I'm a video junkie, right? Like I'm just old enough to remember getting up at 5 a.m., waiting for mom and dad to get ready and sitting and watching MTV when it was MTV, waiting for Welcome to the Jungle to spin back around out of the 32 songs, right? So it's like,
love it.
Fucking video junkie. And that video for Ready to Die is just kind of, I like how it starts out like, are you ready to go? Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Let's go. You. Yeah. And then, bah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came up with the idea when I was just thinking about, I knew the song was really good, and I knew that the way we introduced, me in the band and kind of reintroduced this band to the world with this single, I knew that the tone had to be right. And I was trying to think of the most non-braggadocious, non-rock star way to do it, and let the song and let the band just do what the band does. And I came up with this idea about making a video. And it would be super like fly on the wall. It's literally us setting up to play the song. Like there's no acting, no one in the band. I told the whole band, my dog is a fucking maniac lately. Okay. I told the band to, there's no acting. There's no fucking pretentiousness. Like everyone just set up your gear like normal. They're going to film us. We already talked about how we're going to do it and what the important points are going to be in terms of the filming. And then the band, you guys just got to do what you do. And the thought that I had with the filming of it was when I started playing for ADEMA and we did the first tour, the Days of Disorder with Powerman 5000 and Head PE, which is where we realized that it actually works with me singing. Every night that we'd rock out, and play, and I would kind of look, playing, headbanging, my fucking doing my thing, my little Ryan Shuck thingy. And I look behind me a little bit and I look like that and I see the band just throwing down. And I'm like, motherfucker, that's ADEMA. Yes. And they're all 6 foot something, and they throw down like 20-year-old kids, and it sounds huge. And Chris Coles is smashing, like just almost breaking the cymbals. I'm getting chills right now. And I wanted the people watching the video to feel like I felt when I'm in the middle of these guys. It's almost a dangerous feeling, like you're on the line of scrimmage of an NFL team, and they're gonna fucking kill you. That's what I feel like on stage. And so we took the cameras. We had our team basically. We played in a circle facing each other instead of acting like a bunch of twats and pretending there's a fake crowd there. We played to each other, and we had the camera going through us and around us in a 360 by hand. And we had Brandon, who's also known as the Annex. He's a very successful, act on his own. He's a very, very cool guy. He's somebody we've been doing collaborations with, and Julian Kane and everything. We've been doing a lot of video stuff together. We just love him. Brandon was while Oscar was cruising around and filming, Brandon was hitting the camera with the beats and stuff so that it was like an instrument. And we got this like visceral feeling of being in the band while we're playing. And that was the idea behind it. And judging from the response, it seems to be quite a success. The band didn't have a YouTube page 2.5 weeks ago, and we're cruising past 58,000 views on the video 1 week. So it's a viral hit. I mean, it's a viral hit so far. It's blowing up.
Yeah, it's in a way, it's a rebirth. We all remember ADEMA from back in the day, but then, and I'll toot your horn for a second. You put a powerhouse in the front lines, and now let's just this single, man. I like I said, I can't take it. I love it. New single, I love it.
It's a serious thing to try to, replace a singer like Marky Chavez, who sings with Jonathan Davis's voice, right? I mean, he's Jonathan Davis's little brother,
right?
You got the gift of being able to at least sound like that, and I do think that's a gift.
Yeah.
And he seems to want to throw it away, and for me to go in there and I'm on my own right, I'm a pretty successful guy in music, and I'm a known singer, and I have my own shit. And to step into that, you're kind of like naked, right? No one gives a fuck. No one cares who, you got to bring it. And I think with this single, I kind of showed everyone like, oh, by the way, in case you didn't know, fucking suck it.
Hey, over fucking here. Yeah. Yes, absolutely, dude. Yeah. You couldn't have described that better. Like, it's I got the goosebumps now just thinking about it. Like, it just kind of, the surreal part of it. So like, I won't even have to say, for those of you who don't know, because we all know, we all know where it started in the beginning. For the diehard fans, like I said in the beginning, before we come on air, I am from the Bay, California, born and raised. So that whole, just what turned into the new metal scene, and obviously I never grew out of it. I took a damn nickname from it. You literally are rooted in every part of anybody that, from Northern Cali all the way down. Chester, of course, Jonathan, all the Corn Boys. I think you did some clothing with Head. Uh,
Yeah.
and let's talk about the thing I promised I'd only say one time, but I'm gonna say it twice.
Yeah.
Orgy.
Yeah.
Orgy. Yeah. Like, it brings a smile on my face. Just saying it. Just thinking about it.
I
So
love that
it's bro, who doesn't love that band? Like, that's just a part of history when you talk about rock, like real rock music, like,
for sure.
Orgy's in there every time. So it's just one of those things, like, kind of what's the backstory? Like, how'd you just, it's not luck, clearly, because you work your ass off for this stuff, but just in that time, in that era, in that location, give me some stories, give me some backstories on it,
I mean, I think that luck is a thing. I think that luck is scientifically measurable. I think that luck is, there's some chance, and there's also a mixture of always having been focused on what it is you want to accomplish, and always strategically kind of making sure that you're getting through the right windows when they open. Like, there is a little bit of timing and a little bit of chance involved, but it's just like I told ADEMA when I joined the band. I go, hey, you guys haven't watered your garden in a long time, and in this business, you have to be constantly watering your garden. In other words, you have to be constantly, even when you don't have something going on, you need to be working on, because you never know when an opportunity will arise again. And I think ever since I grew up in Taft, California, a really small town just outside of Bakersfield, there wasn't shit going on there. But I think that I always had this sense inside of myself that, whenever I noticed someone like Jonathan Davis and got to be in a band with him, I knew right off the bat, I was like, wow, this voice is something incredible. And I knew Dave DeRue was a really talented bass player. Now, I didn't know exactly where things would go. I just knew that I was going to keep watering my garden, and I was going to keep making sure that I surround myself with the best people that I think, the people I think are the coolest guys, the best guys, the people with the most raw talents and strategic minds as well. And John definitely was the first one when the Korn guys came and saw us play and saw John sing. And then he joined them, and we were all super elated because they were our heroes. They were called LAPD at the time.
Mm-hmm. We
kept a friendship going and all that kind of stuff. And I ended up moving down to Southern California to play music and everything. And I just kept doing things that were useful and cool. And I kept associating myself with people that were awesome. And I made sure that my game was really, really high always, because you never know when you're going to get the chance. It's just like, jujitsu or studying for something or your job or whatever it is. If you're not always practicing being a badass, you're going to get your ass kicked. So I'm just ready to fight. Right. I'm just ready to fight. You know what I mean? Like, okay, let's, oh shit. Well, I didn't want to do that right now, but we can do it. Whether we want to fight, whatever it is. I mean, I jokingly make it about a fight. I don't really want to fight anyone, but that's how I've been. And over the years, what's happened is you're ready for these great things to happen, and you just kind of keep doing it. And a lot of people only know about the good things. They don't see all the disappointments. And I mean, Orgy is a wonderful thing, and it's also the hugest disappointment, because you're dealing with a guy like Jay who just 4 + 4 = orange. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to do what every fan wants, and that is the whole band playing together and creating music that is orgy music and sounds like orgy. Right. So that's something that, there are hard things, but with all this stuff, you got to take what happens and turn it into something incredible. We realized Jay didn't really want to do Orgy in any semblance we understood, so we did Julian K, and then that ended up leading to doing Dead by Sunrise with Chester, because Chester loved Orgy and he loved Julian K so much we ended up playing music together, and that led to this other killer opportunity. So like I said, it's always staying sharp and always getting better. And, you know, with the clothing line, with the restaurants, all that kind of stuff, you know, I've spent 25 years learning how to do everything. And that's it. And up to and including now with the ADEMA single, you know, I own the label, I did the marketing, I run the show, I tour manage the tours. And, you know, it's not all about me. It's just that I want things to be awesome.
Right.
I want things to be awesome. And in this business, if you rely on other people a lot, you're going to get let down badly.
For sure.
And no one will help you if you won't help yourself. If you're not already awesome, people don't want anything to do with you. And so that's just, these things are constantly in my head, you know, constantly.
Yeah. So, and let's talk about it for a second. That's kind of your other thing too, Julian K. Like, just kind of spin on that for a second. Tell everybody what it's about.
So Julian K is Amir and I from Orgy. And Amir and I have done every project together in our lives since Orgy. We became best friends in Orgy. I realized really early on that Amir was a secret weapon. I mean, he's a Grammy award-winning producer and engineer as well. So that's another principle that I've taken throughout my entire life, is building, you know, incredible teams and incredible relationships with the good people, not just the talented people, the good people. And Amir's a good people. So we started Julian K, and it was literally born out of just, we were trying to write new Orgy material and everything, but, you know, Jay wouldn't show up to Orgy. And so we ended up kind of, you know, morphing into like, well, I started just, you know, I wrote a lot of vocals anyways in Orgy. So I just started singing. And then when I started singing with Chester's encouragement and guidance, I started becoming the lead singer. And then after a while, we, you know, time passed and we ended up getting offered record deals and stuff. And we finally we did it. And we opened for Linkin Park and Project Revolution. And from that point on, we were a very, very real act. Like, we were a touring real act in a tour bus, doing the whole thing again. And, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 albums later, you know, we just released a song 2.5 months ago. That was we had another ADEMA like experience, you know, with Ready to Die. We had it with Your Lies Are Like Fire. And just 2 months ago. And that was a runaway hit in another genre, you know, more of an electronic rock, you know, type of world. But yeah, it's crazy, man. And it's been hard. It's been very, very hard. It's hard to be an Orgy and then start over from nothing, knowing that you're the guys from Orgy, and then have to rebuild it all on your own without a record label. You know, that's really, really hard. But, you know, we figured a lot of it out, and we're doing well. You know, can I say?
That's awesome. That's awesome. If you're just tuned in, welcome to the Garage Inc. right here on the Asylum Radio Network. You can hit up our website, theasylumradionetwork.com. It takes you everything we do. We got the podcast. They're slowly coming back. We're also on the radio side 24/7. Download the free app, the Live 365 app. Search the Asylum Radio Network, and there you have it, running constantly, including Sunday nights. We are now syndicated on FM at 106.1 VLZ in Knoxville, Tennessee. So check us out there for the show, the Asylum Radio Breakouts. So 2019, you join ADEMA, and it just kind of shakes everything up. And at that same time, myself, I was just kind of getting back into radio, because I took like a 6-year hiatus. I just didn't want to do music. I didn't want to do radio anymore. I was over it. I just wanted to go back to 9 to 5. I was just over it. And I was young, you know, I'm 38 now. So I was just getting it back, you know, no more drink. I was the party DJ, right? I was the one that everybody's like, shots, you know, and so I did away with music. So my music stopped literally in 2005 all the way back, right? And so I come back into the music world, and you start seeing everybody that's still around, and people that are putting out new music, and you're like, oh, what is this? And this, that, and the other. Things look great, and fucking COVID hits in 2000, at the beginning of 2020. So I guess my question would be, besides the obvious of everything that's changed for especially us in the music industry, what's kind of been like, I don't know, what's been the either hardest part, most challenging, or maybe the most invigorating thing that you've found that possibly challenged yourself in this, what we now call the COVID era, especially in the entertainment industry, music, everything? Kind of, what have you found that you do different, or maybe you didn't do shit different? Maybe you just do everything the exact same.
I immediately realized when we were shipping all of the merchandise from our last campaign, our last successful Indiegogo campaign with Julian K. We're one of the biggest crowdfunding bands in the world right now. We've had 5 #1 giant crowdfunding campaigns that are just off the charts. We were shipping all the perks around the time COVID was hitting, and we had one of my bandmates here with me for 2 weeks working, shipping everything. We do it all by hand. It's like a big deal that we do this. And COVID was hitting, and we realized that something big was happening, and we started figuring out that we needed to get him home because he lives out in another country. And so I remember literally I was folding the merch, like thousands of pieces of merchandise, and getting it all ready to go. And I came up with the idea that we were going to have to all the tours were going to cancel. We had 3 major tours. ADEMA had a major tour, and Julian K had 2 major tours, one of which was selling out and adding dates. So probably near close to $500,000 worth of revenue loss. So this is devastating, right? All my restaurants were closing. So that's another like $1 million line. It's insurmountable. And my head was just going, what the fuck are we going to do? And I really quickly came home and, poured a lot of wine and sat at my kitchen table and with my computers, and I created a Patreon account, and I created a whole framework around what would become a streaming audio or streaming video and audio business direct to the fans, which frankly blew up. And we see significant net profit every month directly from the fans. And we created a schedule where we perform or host something every weekend. And we have, a small amount of super fans in the hundreds that generate a huge amount of money. And then we utilize that to, sometimes we do them publicly, like we'll restream it on Facebook and other things. So we use it to continue to promote. And then I also was faced with the idea of like, can I keep drinking, and do this? Can I be locked up in this, gilded cage that I live in with this beautiful recording studio and a fucking amazing house by the beach that I'm fortunate enough to live in?
Yeah.
All my restaurants closed, all my touring ended, just me in a studio streaming, and an uncontrollable desire to drink alcohol constantly, which I've had, and a very strong desire to kill myself. So I finally decided that COVID would be a great reason to do what I normally do, and that's take lemons and turn it into lemonade. And I checked myself into rehab. And so I spent the beginning of COVID in a hospital and got sober, and I got out, and I spent the last 17 months just, becoming a human being again. And during that, I've been streaming every weekend for 17 months. I've been on camera in here, performing, streaming, recording, whatever it is, without missing a weekend for a long time now. That's until awesome. Touring's now coming back and everything. So yeah, we really did everything different. And these things that I've proposed and created, they're revolutions for a band, because a band makes music alone in a room like this, in a studio, if they're lucky. And then they get all this music together, and then they partner with someone and market it, and then they go on tour and try to make money. So for us to go, okay, all that's gone. Now you have to do this. You have to run a TV studio. You have to learn how to do all this fucking streaming shit and perform live through your studio and all this, and do it and figure it out in a week, and then fuck up in front of everyone until you get it down. All these things are like game changers. And now we're so good at it that everyone is wondering, like they're coming to us on the back end, wondering how we do what it is we're doing. And, I wish I could say that we're just super smart, but we're not. We know, we see the leaves, we see the weather's changing. We don't sit around. We go, well, let's rely on the fact that we know how to learn, and let's rely on the fact that we do have 25 years of skill built up, and let's fucking figure it out. You know what I mean? Right. Let's fucking figure it out. Our jobs as artists are to create the pathway for your fans to support you. It's not just making music and fucking masturbating, yourself artistically. If you can't create a mechanism for your fans to help you out, you're the asshole, not your fans. You're the idiot. So we've created mechanisms for our fans. When I say help and support, I mean money. So we create really cool ways for us to do cool shit and for them to support us. And you know what's really interesting? As long as we do cool shit that's authentic and awesome, and we keep it at our high standard level, the fans respond by supporting us with, financially. And it's incredible. And here we are now, we're still in a pretty bad COVID situation, but we're able to go out and go tour, and we're going to go brave it. And you know what? I think there's a good chance we're going to make it fucking through.
Absolutely.
We're going to make it happen,
Absolutely. Of course. The new single, Ready to Die, spitting right here on the Asylum. Like I said, all you got to do is download the app. Ryan Shook, the man, the myth, the legend. This has been so awesome. Thank you for taking the time to do this. And definitely next Friday night, Clarksville, Tennessee. The tour starts September 1st in Colorado Springs. It runs all the way through November 4th, I believe. Will you wrap it up at the Whiskey? Come on, bro. What are you? Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And of course, I said,
we've got two insane. We've got Quincy, Illinois, which is where Tim Flucky is from.
Yep.
And the ticket sales are it's off the charts. It's we should have played an arena. And then we're playing our hometown of Bakersfield in there too at the end of this first leg. And we're going to live. That's going to be a big show on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Prime, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a multi-camera big live show in our hometown, sold out.
It's going to be
special.
Guys, can be safe. If I would give all the money in the bank right now just to fly into Baco for the weekend just to catch that show. Mom, I'm coming home for the weekend. That's to see you, of course. Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you soon, man.
Thank you, my brother. I can't wait to meet you. Thank you for playing our song. I fucking love you for it.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. Sit tight just a second.